To number 4, Danny. He's the first male, and he served his mission in Eugene, Oregon. Danny?
The main thing for me in my experience is that she's a constant. She's there for the whole roller coaster. She's there for the lows. She's there
The rock,
for
the
the
anchor.
highs. Yeah, she is the glue. She's the glue that has held us all close and not let anyone really stray away into the dark. You know,
Do you have a story about her to illustrate anything?
I was in high school. I've always played sports, baseball and football mainly. But I was in high school. I blew my knee out and I had surgery in the middle of the season. And I just remember uh, a lot of days were just me and my mom at home. My friends had forgotten about me.
Uh,
The girls had forgotten about me. And I felt very lonely. And my mom was there just to she's always been there. She's just like I said, she's the constant. But I think the reason why I remember this story is because she helped me learn a valuable lesson. And she said, there's a reason for this trial in your life. It was a freak accident that you blew your knee out, and you need to find out what that reason is. And I didn't find that answer that second, but I remember it was a point in my life where I was deciding if I was going to go on a mission, and it was never. And I just want to say that too in these interviews. It was never a requirement for any of us to go on a mission. None of us have ever been told we need to go.
uh,
I think it's just been something that we've wanted to do because of how we've learned and the testimonies and the examples that we've seen. But I remember that was probably the first time where I really had a spiritual connection through prayer and in reading the Book of Mormon and building my testimony. And now I look back at that trial, and my mom was kind of the nudging factor in pushing me to that spiritual experience. That's one of the experiences I'm most grateful for, is blowing my knee out, because it led me to serve a mission, but most of all, it led me to understand my relationship with God and how I can communicate with Him and how much He loves me. But I think I learned that because my mom has godlike love for me.
Again, self-discovery, helping him to discover the answer to his question.
Well, and there's more to that story because, he made that happen to him when he was a sophomore
Mhm.
in high school. And it was a long road. It was every day. I kept telling him, take it a day at a time, because it's tough to stand on the sidelines. And I also remember telling him, this time, he was used to starting. In fact, luckily after that, he healed up and he went on and he would never leave the field. He'd play offense, defense, special teams. He even went on to play 2 years at Snow College, ended his career with MVP, has a big trophy we can hardly lift. And
Great.
so he had a great experience. But back to that story, he didn't say much details about it, but I remember going through that with him and him really praying about it. And it came down to, if I can be restored, because obviously we're not huge people. So it was the speed that, got them into their sports. And sports has been a huge part of our lives. I feel that it's been the structure that's helped my boys in a lot of ways too. And given them some confidence and some abilities that they have. And so when it came time for his senior year, he had a coach that was very ambitious. And there was a day when he called and he said, okay, Danny, they loved Danny. And they had come and talked to him as a sophomore, and they kind of followed him. And they said, we're deciding, it was the day before signing and all that. They go, we have you, and there's 3 of you up on our board. And we really like you, and we followed you, and we know you're a good student, because he was always an A student too and took AP, and he was a very serious student. So they kind of liked that about him as well. And they said, we really want to give you a full scholarship, but we just have one concern about you. And he had called the coach, who actually wasn't a member, and he called Danny, goes, Danny, you have to tell him you're not going to go on a mission, because they're so worried about the mission. And so Danny called me. It was like in the middle of school, and he calls, Mom, we have to go to lunch. I need to talk to you. And so we're driving around, and we go meet with this coach, and he's like, Danny, you just have to tell him. Even just lie to him. Just tell him, you just don't have to tell him. And Danny was like, no, I can't. I made that commitment. I went through that. I have to tell them that I'm going on a mission. And if they decide not to, keep my scholarship, then I have to do the right thing. And I remember sitting over there going, that is hard.
Yeah.
And he kept saying, Mom, what should I
one.
do? What should I say? And I was like, it's your call, Danny. It's your call. It's your call. I mean, you could go on a mission 2 years later. I don't know. It's your call. I can't tell you what to do.
Again, helping them discover the answer to their own
But yeah, I remember sitting there thinking, oh, wow, he did have to go through that hard experience to make that decision ahead, because it came down to, and they did. They said, oh, we're so disappointed, because they'd had, I guess one other kid had come, and they signed him, and then he went on a mission, and then he came home and went to BYU. So they said, we just won't do it again. And they go, but we'd love you to come walk on. And he's like, yeah, right. Like I ever could afford that. But anyway, that was one little fun story.